What's up, guys? Zan for Forward Progress Madden. And I know the title of this video says Madden 15 gameplay impressions, but I'm going to tell you right here that basically this is going to be my impressions. I'm not going to show you any raw, uncut footage. There are other EA Sports game changers out there that do have raw, uncut footage of the game that they've done voiceovers for. This is more or less going to be just a video that I'm going to talk about a few things that when I played the game myself, I took away from the week that I was down in Orlando, basically playing the beta version of the game. So we'll go ahead and get into it. This video is going to be more centered around more or less the play calling, the pre-play adjustments. I'll do later on versions or impression videos of the actual gameplay itself. This is more or less the impressions of what. Sorry, my fridge just kicked on. I don't know if you heard that in the background, but this is more or less going to be my impressions of the meta game of Madden. So, everybody talks about the actual gameplay itself, how zone coverages play, how the blocking is, how do blitzes work, things of that nature. The meta game of Madden is more or less the adjustments that you're going to make as an offensive player to what you see on defense and how the defense is equipped to adjust and react to, popular tactics that the offense is using. So basically, let's go ahead and get into it. Offensively, the game has taken a step forward, I would say, offensively. Last year was our first with this new audible system in which if you came out in 11 personnel, you could use the quick audibles for the formation that you came out in, and then you would also have access to audible into any other formation in your playbook that shared the same personnel. So in theory, what I'm saying is if you came out in single back doubles, you could audible up into shotgun trips tight end because both formations have three receivers, one running back, one tight end. That has moved forward into Madden 15. We still have that same system. We still have the same hot routing, or I'm sorry, not the same hot routing, but the same audibling system in which, you can hop back and forth between formations with the same personnel. I will say that I noticed a better trend to make playbooks more accessible as far as what personnel they're using. So, for instance, a very popular playbook that I used last year was the New Orleans Saints playbook. You look back on the channel for Madden 25, a lot of my material came out of the New Orleans playbook. But the main issue that I had with the formations in the New Orleans playbook is that pretty much everything was one running back, one tight end personnel, but my offense was one running back, zero tight ends. It was the shotgun tight formation in which I had nothing else that I could audible out of. This year, they've done a really good job with that playbook in which they have gone ahead and made the New Orleans shotgun tight. Now it's still shotgun tight, and it's still the New Orleans shotgun tight, but it's now three receivers and one tight end. So rather than having a fourth receiver on the field, you will now have a tight end worked into the set stock instead of having two hot route, or not hot route, sorry, I keep saying that, but formation sub him into the plays. So now you'll have access in that shotgun tight to audible out of that formation, audible down into some single back stuff, some other tight gun, shotgun stuff that has a tight end in the formation. So I don't want to give everything away, but the New Orleans playbook this year is going to be a beast. I'll go ahead and say right now that another formation that they added that I absolutely loved when I played the game was the pistol bunch tight end. Yes, pistol bunch tight end. We're talking the bunch tight end shotgun set from the Indianapolis playbook, but the pistol version of it. And it basically has all those pass plays from the Indy, but now you have a strong power with that pistol. So can you imagine going from strong power out of the pistol bunch tight end into shotgun tight, which is the New Orleans shotgun tight, but now with a tight end, so you can go back and forth between those two sets. Furthermore, not only is it the New Orleans shotgun tight, but they have also added the Arizona shotgun tight plays from the Arizona book into the New Orleans book. So it's absolutely explosive. I love it. You know, I can't wait to play with it more when Madden 15 comes out. Going to be my absolute favorite playbook, I have a feeling, just going into the year. Another playbook that I really enjoyed using was the St. Louis playbook. Now, St. Louis, we all know, very popular Madden 25 playbook. You had the trips tight end scheme that was basically the rage last year. They also have added the New Orleans shotgun tight with one tight end, 3 receivers. So now you have essentially single back tight doubles, trips tight end, and shotgun tight that you can work out of. So St. Louis is, again, going to be a very powerful playbook. I don't want to spoil all the little Easter eggs that are in the playbooks. You know, part of the game is getting the game, really getting to look at the playbooks, getting into the gameplay itself. It's great fun, you know, when the game drops. So I don't want to spoil all that. I can only talk about gameplay. I'm not allowed to talk about MUT, CFM, stuff like that. I'm still under NDA with that. But after E3, I became able to talk about things of that nature. So offensively, let's talk a little bit more offensively. Rumor has it around the community that from people who played at E3 that hot routes are completely jacked. I will say yes and no. The way the hot routing system is now is that you get one free hot route as you break the huddle. So you call your play in the huddle, break, offensive players are jogging to the line of scrimmage. You're allowed as the QB to make one hot route as your team is walking to the line. Now, once you reach the set position, you'll be able to make another hot route. So you'll be able to make a second hot route once you're set. These hot routes basically will carry the QB into a pointing animation. You know, he'll point around, look at his receivers, bark out orders. Once that QB is out of that command, you'll be able to make another one. So basically what we're looking at is if you want to make three hot routes to a play, you're going to get one free hot route as you break the huddle, and once you get to the line of scrimmage, you'll make another hot route, take about 1.5 to 2 second animation, make another hot route. Then once he's done with that animation, you'll be able to snap the ball. So more or less, quick snapping is going to be gone from a standpoint of quick snapping money pass plays. I think that's very realistic. I think that is something that has been a long time coming in Madden. On the other side of the coin, a lot of players say, well, when we hot route, we're just making passing concepts that are not in Madden already. I can agree with that, but you know, you have to give and take things, and I think that more or less this is a very positive step in the right direction as far as Madden 15 goes. You know, a lot of players are able to break huddle, hit X and the left trigger to reset their play, so it makes their offensive linemen and wide receivers sprint to the line of scrimmage. And even while they're sprinting to the line of scrimmage, they can make 3 adjustments to their pass play. Quick snap you, throw a laser over the middle through your coverage, and pick up a first down. No huddle, do it all over again, except quicker because they're in the no huddle. So this year, I expect less of that. Quick snapping will still be there, but it'll more or less be quick snapping run plays, which I do think is realistic. You see teams like the Patriots do it all the time. Tom Brady will break huddle, the team will sprint to the line, and he'll quick snap a dive or a zone to Ridley, Vereen, whoever's behind him. They no huddle, they'll do it again as long as the defense isn't prepared for it. But you're not going to see them quick snapping pass plays. So guys who are live and die by the quick snap players, message to you, you're going to have to learn to do something else this year. Not that you won't be able to succeed in Madden 15, but relying on the quick snap is not going to be the move this year. So broke down a few new formations, broke down the hot routing system. What else? Oh, the matchup stick. Matchup stick is something more for the sim players. I wouldn't even say sim players. For people who want to basically look for mismatches as much as possible. When you pull up the coach cam, there's going to be like a little meter at the bottom of the screen, kind of down in like this area of the screen where my knuckles are. It's kind of like a half wheel where it'll just kind of show the player number, and it'll have, like, in general, a green or a red label on them to say this player's got a good matchup. If you push the stick in the direction of that matchup, it'll actually pull up a height difference, a speed difference, a route running rating versus a man coverage rating, as well as a release rating versus a press rating for the defense. And, it'll be highlighted plus or minus. If it's in the green, it tells you, +6, so that means your receiver has a +6 in the release versus press rating. If it has a green 12, it means they're 12 speed faster than the DB for the speed rating. If it has like a red 4, it means that the defensive back has a 4 higher man coverage animation than your receiver has route running rating. Not animation, I'm sorry, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, it does that for the 3 receivers, the tight end, and the running back. So basically it's a real good tool that you'll be able to use, assuming that defense is in man coverage. So if they're in zone coverage, obviously they're going to be trading off players throughout the zone, but by and large it's going to give you a good idea of what the player across from your receiver can do comparatively to the player that you have on the field across from them. So some basic offensive stuff. Now let's get to the defensive side of the ball, because Seattle Seahawks, I'm going to take a drink real quick. Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl last year. Of course, defense is what we're all looking for in Madden 15. So, defensively, I want to go into a few things. There are new formations. So, a lot of the 43 playbooks have formations such as the 43 wide 9 stack. So basically your traditional 4-3 stack with a wide 9 front. A lot of these formations will have cover 2 invert plays, which is nice, where the outside corners will drop into deep halves. Your safeties will play robber coverage, outside linebackers shoot to the flat. Real nice thing to have. Great for stopping the run. Lots of formations that have wide variations of the defense added to the game to stop the outside run game. As we all know, last year, the pandemic of the strong powers, the buck sweeps, Saints Power O. Speaking of which, Saints Power O, another kind of Easter egg. That New Orleans playbook is as great as it is. They did remove the Saints Power O. It's now a Saints outside zone stretch. So kind of tone that run down a little bit. I do believe they removed the QB wraps in the game as well. The QB wrap's been broken for a couple years, so I do know that that's gone as well. Back to the defensive stuff, though. They did add a lot of wide formations. There's a nickel 3-3-5 wide alignment in which the linebackers are way out wide, probably playing. It's at least a 9 technique, standing up in a 2-point stance, at least a 9 technique. So a lot of these defenses have been designed to stop the run this year. Very excited about the new formations. I was very down in the dumps when they removed the 4-2-5 a couple years ago. 4-2-5 still out of the game, but I do like to see them adding a lot of new formations defensively that will give us, new possibilities as far as bringing pressure, dropping coverage, things of that nature. Next thing I want to talk about is the shading coverage. I've got a lot of questions from people on Twitter, Facebook, messages to the inbox on YouTube about shading. Does shading work this year? Let me put it easily. Shading does work. It's very, very good. If you know your opponent's going to a smart out route, you shade to the outside. It's going to be, let's put it this way. Offense will be very lucky if the ball's not picked. The zone shading is unbelievable. This year, you don't just have shading outside versus shading inside. We're talking the defense itself is told to shade one of 4 ways. So if you hit coverage audible and then right on the right stick that tells the defense to play the sidelines. So what that means is, hey, I think that on 3rd and long, my opponent's going to throw the deep out route. I don't want them to give that up. So the DBs in hook zones or flat zones will drop to the outside, make sure that the receiver doesn't catch the ball along the sideline. It's a great tool. Going to be really useful when your opponent's running out of timeouts and they're in the 2-minute warning situation. They want to throw corners and out routes. Using that outside shade, give them the middle of the field, make that clock keep running. It's going to be a real nice tool for you. Likewise, they do have shade to the inside. So if you think that they're going to attack the seams, the shading of the inside will play the seams a little bit more effectively than they do from a stock look. And what you'll do to do that is basically hit coverage audible and then left on the right stick. But that's not the only two things you can do. You can have I don't want you to get beat over the top, so you'll hit Y and then up on the right stick. Now what this is going to do is it's going to not back up your players pre-snap, but post-snap they're going to get way the heck back. Basically don't want you to give up that deep ball. Now let's say you're playing a guy who's basically a ground and pound guy who only likes to throw tight end pop passes, short, likes to throw slants and drags. You will have tools to combat this. Y, down on the right stick, will basically say play shallow. Zones will get real aggressive. It almost looks like as if you were playing the NCAA games of years past where you could basically set your zone of coverage to aggressive. The plus side is, though, that this is a play-to-play thing. If you suspect drags, you can do it on one play. It's not a switch that you have to set. I think that's real great. The more defensive tools that we're given, the better. And these shades are going to allow us to really, really get creative with some of our zone coverages, I'm feeling. So that's great in itself. The next thing I want to talk about is QB contains. QB contains are back in that when you want to QB contain, you don't necessarily have to go find a player, hit A, then hit right on the right stick to get him into a contain. To contain the QB, depending on the front you're in, it's going to take the outermost pass rusher in your play. So whoever it is on the play. So let's imagine you're running just generic 4-3 normal, 2-man under. If you were to hit the QB contain feature, it's built in with the actual option keys this year. So we have the option keys where you could key the running back or key the quarterback. Excuse me. You could key the running back or key the quarterback. Now you're also going to have QB contain as a feature. So if you're facing somebody who wants to, basically scramble with the QB, they're not really confident in their passing game. They just want to send routes out and then run to the hole in your zone, scramble up in the pocket, whatever. This QB contain feature is real nice because it's not the traditional QB contains where I'm going to point here at the screen. You basically have your two defensive ends here on the field, and they kind of loop out and just stand in the flat. What they're going to do is they're going to rush down and then kind of disengage with their defensive line and just kind of like hand fight out there in the flat. And basically, it's called a kind of a mush rush is a popular term for it. It's going to basically make it so the QB is not going to be able to drop with any real depth or sprint straight out to the flat because those defensive linemen are looking to disengage and attack the QB if he breaks pocket. So, but also they make sure that you can't escape up the middle through the B gaps, which is a real popular place that people like to scramble currently. So, real nice tool. Love how that was added. That's basically going to be in with the option keys in the game. Last thing I want to talk about before I end this video here, because I know we're getting close to 20 minutes, is the bluff blitz feature. Now, this is my absolute favorite thing that I saw when I was down at EA. This was late in May, early June, and I absolutely love what they did. The bluff blitz feature essentially is a playmaker adjustment that you can make to any player on the field. And what it basically does is it takes whatever their stock assignment is that they are in from the play that you called, and it makes them bluff blitz for 2 steps first. So basically, if you're imagining this, if you have a linebacker in a hook zone and you key him to bluff blitz, he's going to take 2 jab steps at the line of scrimmage and then drop back into his hook zone. Now, if you can imagine, this is what is going to allow us as defensive players to get real creative, bluff blitz with our linebackers, allow other players to sneak in holes from occupying offensive linemen. It's real awesome. Absolutely love it. Nobody's talking about it as a great feature of Madden 15. I think this is the most slept on thing that anybody who's gotten a E3 look, anybody who's seen Madden 15 early builds, that isn't under NDA and who is allowed to talk about it. I haven't heard anybody talking about it, and it's something really, really, really good. So the best part is if you do it with a defensive lineman, it'll make him bluff blitz, and then it automatically will key him, depending on what the play is, to either man up on the running back or to drop into a hook zone. So if you're in, I believe if you're in a man-based play, he'll key up on the running back. Or I'm sorry, the other way around. If you're in a zone-based play, he'll take a couple jab steps and then key on the running back out of the backfield, which is real great for your coverage purposes. But if you're in a man play, he'll take 2 jab steps and then drop into a hook zone over the middle. So zone blitzing is going to be absolutely wild. I can't wait. And I think it's going to really make defense better. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here. I know we're pushing on 22 minutes now. It's a lot of information, but it's really just the beginning. So I'm going to end it for this podcast right here and just say to tune in later this week. I want to say probably Wednesday or Thursday this week. I'm going to be dropping a video, another impressions video, more so related to the actual gameplay itself. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, I've got my contact info along the bottom here. You can send me a message on Twitter. You can send me a message on the Gmail account that I have listed. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. I'll kind of try to make the next video kind of a mailbag of sorts. I've already received a lot of stuff on Twitter that I'm going to touch on in the next video, but for now I just kind of want to build that hype. I know that we don't have a lot of NCAA talk coming out with this year, and an extra month to really wait on Madden. Basically, July, the second week of July is when NCAA usually used to drop. So this whole month that we're normally playing NCAA, we just have, more of a thirst for Madden. So I'll be talking more about it. So appreciate you guys stopping by to watch the video. Make sure to share it with friends, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are really eager to learn about Madden 15. I got 30 hours or so with it in late May, early June, down in Orlando, and I was really excited when they lifted the NDA, because this is stuff that I want to share with you guys. So I'm gonna let it go right now. I know I keep saying I'm gonna let it go and then I talk a little bit more, but I'm really gonna end it right here. So thanks you guys. I'll see you later this week.